Hi everyone, Tenno Ranger here. Today with another video of if my family members were warframes. And again, they were actually Tenno. What warframes their Tennos would be. Today's Tenno would be my son Emmett, my second son. So if he was a Tenno, he would be living an iron wake with a red veil, and his warframe would actually be none other than the meatball himself, Grendel. Yes, Grendel. Now his loadout is with the Prime Masseter, the Dual Toxicist, and the Ignis Wraith. I gave him the Hulk Hogan looking color scheme because, first of all, RIP, you know, we just lost him not too long ago. But mainly because those colors, he really gravitates towards them. Likes the color yellow, likes the color red. He's very sensitive to lights and sounds, but I noticed that he gravitates towards those colors quite a bit. I gave him a MOA. Looks like an oversized, like an ostrich. Looks like a robotic ostrich. So there's that. It's not like the best companion, but it's a fun companion, especially for this meatball of a warframe. Now you want some, I guess if I have to describe him, yeah, he's my big boy. You know, he eats quite a bit. You know, he's my protein baby. So he would be, in my opinion, a warframe like Grendel. Grendel can eat, you know. He's well nourished, just like my boy. He's really fast for, you know, his size. So his abilities are nourish, right? He eats well. Devour, eats enemies, stores them in his big belly. The nourish itself replenishes his health by taking, and armor, by taking in the enemies when he turns into a meatball, a big old meatball. Oh yeah, the more enemies he eats, which is, I want to say, up to 4, I think maybe even 5, the bigger the meatball of a cannonball he can be, with the ability pulverize and regurgitate. I want to say is his 4th ability. That one is where he pretty much upchucks everything, just throws it up. My boy normally doesn't do that, so yeah, I can't really say I can relate to that. But yeah, that's his abilities. Now I've mainly built him for efficiency and range. Range mainly because whenever he devours, I want them to be close by and in close proximity to wherever, you know, Grendel is. So my boy, his Tenno, I call him Steamroller. Now Emmett's Tenno, Riftblade, but Grendel himself would be Steamroller, mainly because he turns into a ball and just rolls over everything, bounces off everyone, and knock enemies down, roll over them, roll pretty fast. So it is Emmett, the Steamroller. Now believe me, I'm going to be working on a lot of the names that I'm coming up with on the characters and the family members that I have. I'm going to try and do better about giving them better names for the lore, for my own, you know, customized warframe universe that I have going on, my own little story that I'm telling on in my game for my family and my friends, if they were Tenno or warframes or whatever the case may be. But if you want to be playing Grendel, you're missing out if you're not. He's fun to use, like a giant pinball. He can launch himself with a few of the augment mods. Gormon is pretty good if you're trying to devour enemies. It helps out quite a bit. And if you want to utilize him as just a regular warframe where he can shoot, I have the flamethrower Ignis Wraith that really helps out. He can tank a lot of damage, so you could just lay on an enemy and just heat proc dump on these enemies. He can take the damage and he can dish it, especially with a good weapon setup. I have the Ignis, I want to say, for status, so it does a really good job with clearing enemies pretty quickly. I mainly use them for the Alad V, Mutilus Alad V, and does me good. Don't have to worry about him too often. Whenever I use him, he does a really good job. I'm able to clear that node pretty quick whenever I need to farm Mesa. And yeah, if you like turn into a giant meatball, he's pretty fast. You could curveballs, fastballs, hardballs, softballs, you name it. He's that ball. Whatever ball you need, little balls, big balls. You know, he can do it. Grendel's pretty good. He's fun. He's a joy. And like I said, I build him for efficiency and range. Range mainly so he can devour enemies from a distance. Anytime he rolls past him, you just eat him, and then regurgitate him onto the heavier enemies with, Eximus units. Just anything that he has in his belly, just upchucks him right there in front of him. It does tons of damage. I want to say it does viral damage when he does upchuck him. Yeah, I mean, other than saying how fun his abilities are to use, yeah, for what I can say, I'd say, oh, and the MOA that I use, call it Tiki. Tiki's pretty cool. Mainly use that companion to help prime other enemies around. Use a duplex bond to multiply the amount of Tikis I have out on the mission. Grendel himself, he's pretty fun. I like taking him out so he can farm relics, especially Requiem relics. It's pretty fun to use on a lot of those missions in the Kuva Fortress, and it's just easy. You want to go somewhere quick, he can do it. He can move around with surprising speed. Grendel can tank like no tomorrow. I take him into a lot of the Alad V missions, and I just heat proc dump on that dude. I could just stand there. I take damage. My Tiki actually does a good job at holding off a lot of the lower level enemies, and I take care of the boss, which is Mutilus Alad V. I can just heat proc dump on him as much as I can, and once that collar comes off and it's all those stacks, all those status procs that get stacked on him while he's invulnerable, just catch up to him and look at this. You finish the mission. All right, time to go. Get to the exit as soon as you can. Oh, you're having a hard time climbing up the steps? Well, not Grendel. You can just fly through the map. Look at this. You're just parkouring as a ball. Tell me what warframe can parkour as a pinball. Yeah, no. Just Grendel. Literally just Grendel. And yeah, I'd put him up there as fast as Gauss and as fast as Volt. One of the fastest warframes in the game for being a big boy. It's fun. It's hilarious to see, And then I didn't really understand the lore. I probably should delve in more into the Laverian. The Laverian's pretty fun. But yeah, he's best friends with Gauss. He does a lot of damage, but man, I was very shocked at how fast you can, especially in an open world like Fortuna, Plains of Eidolon, Deimos. He can move ridiculously. Maybe not Titania fast, she's pretty fast. That's another warframe that surprised the heck out of me. But yeah, this one can definitely get the step in pretty good. And especially in the Steel Path missions, luckily I have him set up, strong enough to take on Steel Path. Now, mainly for exterminations and captures, I got a pretty good, setup for him on that. Defense missions, he does okay. Better if he does it in teams. But it's hilarious when you see him rolling into acolytes and actually doing a lot of damage towards them, remaining in the, pulverize mode. It's fun. Yeah, all you gotta do is just full speed ahead, knock them down, just like that. Roll over them, bounce literally over the top of them, and you will legit do quite a bit of damage on top of keeping them knocked down. Gives your teammates, if you have them out there on the field with you, gives them time to slap a bunch of damage while they're staggered or not doing damage back, either getting up. If they fell, they're getting back up. The acolytes, although I don't think they can get knocked down, they will take quite a bit of damage just from Grendel running straight into them as a meatball, like a giant infested meatball. Now, for years I didn't know that warframes were actually infested experiments. Yeah, I just thought they were metallic space ninjas. The more you look into lore, the more it makes more sense for them to be some type of infestation of metal and flesh. Probably closer to sentience and these helminth creatures, these infested, than we think. But yeah, it's pretty fun, pretty cool seeing it. I really like the look that I went with on this one. And yes, if my boy was a Tenno, this would be the warframe for him. His go-to. This would be the warframe. He's fast. He's a big boy. He eats a lot. And he comes in clutch. And he has a lot of fun doing it too. As you can tell, look at this. Just flying all over the place. It's exactly him. Can't settle down. You can't keep him in one spot. He's always running around, rolling around, bouncing everywhere. Except for, when you see his dino nuggets there, game over, Yeah, Grendel. This is Grendel. I enjoy the character. I enjoy the playstyle. I want to see more of it. I will eventually try more builds in the future for Grendel. I like the MOA that I'm using. Tiki comes in clutch. Although he is mainly used for Grendel, I also can use Tiki with other warframes. But just because it adds that much more status proc to enemies on Steel Path, it just synergizes very well with Grendel himself. But yeah, the Masseter, still working on that weapon. It's a good melee. I got the Ignis Wraith is probably the most well built as his primary. So I don't think I really need to tweak that one too much. But the weapons that I'm currently working on right now for him is a dual toxicist. Eventually will do my best to attempt to acquire the Incarnon adapter for it. And it's still confusing. I understand you need to get headshots in order for it to start being an effective secondary when it hits Incarnon mode, from what I understand. Oh, wait, you see that? That's what I'm talking about. Acolytes just runs right into him, does a stupid amount of damage, knocks him out. But yeah, the dual toxicist, I'm working on those as a secondary. It looks cool, looks really good on him. But eventually get the Incarnon adapter to get that Incarnon mode for the dual toxicist. I hear a lot of good things about that setup. It's a good build. Try to do my own version of it in the future. But for now, that's what I'm working with. The build that I have on it right now is not, I wouldn't say Steel Path viable at all. But it will definitely get through the regular content if need be. It's pretty, pretty useful on that. Especially regular, low level content like open worlds, that'll do good. But Luckily, the abilities and the setup for Grendel himself I have are pretty good. They don't really need much tweak. I mean, look at Steel Path, relic farming, and I'm just over here bouncing off of these acolytes with, you know, barely any damage taken at all. I want to say the armor's decent on them, but the damage reduction that I have is pretty, you know, it's alright, pretty good. I mean, keeps me alive. But mainly just running around eating people as I'm rolling around as a pinball is the main reason why I stay alive in missions. As long as there's enemies for Grendel to eat, Grendel will continue to be a giant meatball. And look at this. Eximus units slap him around, but you know, he's a meatball. He'll just bounce around, eat, get slapped around like a tennis ball, eat more, and there's practically no damage done. I mean, there's damage done, but it quickly recovers. Look at fly ball, you know, pop fly, whatever you want to call it. Want to just, you know, makes me want to play some Limp Bizkit, you know. Keep rolling, just keep rolling, baby. Look at that. But yeah, and I enjoy playing the Grendel, and I like making the fantasy stories of these. It's already a fictional sci-fi video game, so it's cool whenever I get to play the game and make my own lore within the universe, the Warframe universe, of my friends and family members. If they were in the games, what they would be, what they would look like, and figured, hey, why not start posting about it? How much I talk about it, just a bunch of nonsense, but it's always fun to show them, and I never have time, and they don't ever have time to see it, so why not post about it and show them what I'm making and how I think they would look if they were in the game. And I think I always do my best to make them look as cool as possible, and I hope they enjoy it. I hope they like the content I'm putting out, and that they like what I put out. They like everything that I've done so far. I know my oldest, he enjoys watching this. One of my younger brothers, they enjoy watching me put these silly videos out. He doesn't always have time to play, so why not just show him, you know, bits and pieces of when I do play as these characters that I make of them. So it's fun. Look at Acolyte, bam, just bounce off of them, you know, bouncing around. Anyways, that was Grendel. That was M the Devourer. I really need to work on that name. I really do. But that was, if he was a Tenno, that would be his warframe. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more content. This has been your very own Tenno Ranger. Hope you all have a great day. Tenno Ranger